Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, dogs, cats and dogs, to the strong and the geek, or the geek and the strong, if we're doing one of those kind of mirror kind of.
Yeah. I
Thing.
love shopping at Martwall.
Ooh, you're dumb.
Yeah.
It is I, your host, Josh Ramirez. With me, as always, is my special guest co-host, not Ricky Martin. Are you
Ooh.
living La Vida Loca?
Nah, I'm living La Vida Tepid.
Yes, yes. Or you're dying the unpleasant, the sensible death.
Okay, it's not fucking opposite day.
We're trying opposites here, damn it.
What if it was just like you flip the words, so the words that he's saying in Spanish you say in English, but like living. What's the Spanish equivalent?
Viviendo.
Oh yeah, viviendo.
Yeah.
So like viviendo the crazy life.
No, the crazy, Viviendo the crazy life. All right, so first things first. Before we have an excellent show planned for you with special musical guests. No, Ben's phone. That was actually very good timing.
Yeah, right.
Don't even edit that out.
No,
Leave that in there.
no.
And then a whole bunch of special guests that obviously don't exist. However, first things first. It was brought to my attention that last week, when we were on the air, something happened. Something unusual. We were talking about, our wonderful strong and geek topics. We were flexing our strong muscles and our geek brains, and suddenly there were sounds from above, like the Archangel Gabriel.
Yeah, I was gonna say more like spirits.
Yeah.
Like ghosts.
But it turns out that they weren't spirits or ghosts or archangels or even anyone that happened to be named Gabriel. No, they were just fucking babies.
2 babies, and they weren't fucking.
No, well, yeah. No, fucking babies.
Damn it.
No, fucking babies is okay to say. Babies fucking is the way. Like, this is about order of words. It has a big implication.
Yeah,
So,
order of operations.
I would like to personally apologize for all of the parents out there who just ruin everything.
Wow. Well, there were 2 babies. We were in another room, but my house isn't soundproof.
We were in our studio, and unfortunately our studio sometimes has babies in it. As you probably are well aware if you've been an avid listener of the show, when we have babies as special guests.
Yeah, so what'd you get into this week?
Alright. So, I didn't do anything unusually strong and geeky, but I must admit that I did have an epiphany.
Ooh.
If you'd like to hear of it.
Sure.
So, I've always been, obviously, this is no surprise to anyone, a big DC Comics fan.
What?
I know, weird, right? Particularly Batman, and then Flash, and then Green Lantern Corps, and then the rest of JLA from there. But,
we have similar feelings on heroes.
But I had a very unusual epiphany this week, and I have to admit that... Oh, and obviously Superman, but...
No, yeah, but... Yeah.
I have to admit that... And in recent years, my Superman stock has gone up. But,
you need to get to the point now, because you're really building this up.
Okay, so, jokes aside, and this isn't like a hype up the Wonder Woman film that's coming up, but I got more excited for it because this week I obtained the greatest Wonder Woman stories ever told, collected edition, and so I started reading it, and I must admit, not only did I find a new appreciation for Wonder Woman as a character, but she might have leapfrogged Green Lantern to be my number 3 favorite DC character now.
Ooh.
Yeah, Flash and Bats are still up there, but holy shit, after reading that book and reading kind of her entire history and seeing how she's changed as a character, but also just the things that she stands for and represents, I love Diana Prince a lot. I really truly do. And the best example I can give is that the themes that emerged to me, I always knew obviously that Wonder Woman is supposed to represent the feminism and the strength of the woman, but at the same time the loving, compassionate side that you don't see in superheroes often. But honestly, seeing a character that was presenting the ability of to have brute strength and invincibility simultaneously with an infallible knowledge and willpower, so kind of that Green Lantern Batman-esque-ness, and the first bit being the Superman sort of thing. Also with kind of the speed and wit and cleverness of like a Flash, but then this other component. So all those components that you already see on the characters, but this other thing that you don't see that's just like a genuine like compassion for humanity, and it wasn't like a feminine thing, but in a way it inherently is.
Yeah, it's almost motherly,
but not motherly. Like it's because Diana's not a mother.
Yeah, but I mean, she's a super old lady.
But
everyone to her must seem like children.
But no, but it's not that. Like it's not. It wasn't. But it's not a motherly compassion. It's a genuine love. Honestly, like it was like reading these stories. It was kind of like a compassion and caring concern for other people that we have seen in like Mahatma Gandhi's or Mother Teresa's or like these fabled.
Yeah.
Charismatic, charitable people. And she embodies that in a way that I was just like, wow, this character can go from literally, 1 minute fighting crime to the next minute, like singing, like dying babies in Africa, like to sleep so that their last moments are pleasant and that their parents don't have to grieve so much. And in in the same page, different panels. And I'm like, you know what? I have to admit, I kind of love everything Wonder Woman stands for.
That is very intense.
Yeah, I mean, it just as someone who reads comic books and appreciates them on both, obviously the oh my god I'm a fucking nerd level, but also the ideological and like sociological and intellectual properties that comic books can have and present. I was very impressed by Wonder Woman's history.
Well, plus Wonder Woman teaches such a good lesson. The idea that as a woman, you can be strong and independent and do anything as long as you're beautiful.
No, but this is but this is the thing that I love. I mean,
obviously, if Wonder Woman was drawn ugly, she probably wouldn't have been popular.
But listen, this is what you have to read it. Is that she lives on an island where they all are like that, and yet she's considered like the most glorious of Aphrodite blessed her.
Well, even then, she's like the special one.
But it's because she's like the gem, and that's why she's the one that gets to leave the island because she is the smartest, the wisest, the strongest. But the thing is that the truth, like what I kind of love and disagree with you about on is from reading these stories, I got the vibe that no. If Wonder Woman was a man and still had these qualities, yes, something would be lost in the fact of her femininity, but in all of her other strengths, and what she argues is that it doesn't matter what you are, we kind of all are brought together in these core human, like, tendencies that can be beautiful and powerful, which is funny because she's not even a fucking human. But that's what she fights for, and that's why I was like, damn it, I love Wonder Woman.
I'm just saying, if she wasn't filling out the Wonder Bodice, or rocking those sweet wonder boots. You know what I mean? Like, if she was a little less wondrous, then maybe the character wouldn't have been so popular.
I'm going to say, read it yourself.
Yeah, that's fine.
Get the chance and read it yourself. You're going to be like, wow, she is a champion for humanity.
Fair enough.
I love her.
Fair enough. So what would you rate the comic?
The book, the whole, as a whole, the greatest Wonder Woman stories ever told?
Yeah.
A 9 out of 10.
Wow.
It was
awesome.
It was really good. It got me a great idea of Wonder Woman's history. It starts with the very first Wonder Woman story and goes all the way until about like the 2000s.
Okay. Well, I listened to a very short book this week, and then I started listening to a book series that I've actually listened to in the past. I'm re-listening to. The very short book is a very old book. It's actually in the public domain. You can go listen to it for free or read it for free if you want. But even then, to listen to it, it's a little less than 3 hours to listen to the entire audiobook. It's a collection of scenes, basically. The book is called A Houseboat on the Styx, and it's a comedy that is about the River Styx and a kind of palatial mansion houseboat that, like a gentleman's club sort of idea. Not like what we consider gentlemen's clubs today, obviously.
Strip club.
Yeah, but, with this is like with a smoking room and a billiards room and, we'll go up in the study.
So basically no strippers.
Yeah, just a lot of white dudes. Although in this case, not just a bunch of white dudes, a bunch of just dudes from different cultures, because with it being on the River Styx, the book, all the characters are famous dead people.
Okay, that's cool.
So, like, in one chapter you might have, in one of the chapters it's William Shakespeare shooting pool with Nero and, like, Confucius or whatever, and they're having a discussion as to which of Shakespeare's plays he actually wrote and which ones he lied about writing. And
That's interesting because Nero and Confucius probably would have never read Shakespeare at all.
well, but the point is now that they're dead, like
They have access to all this information.
Yeah. So they rib each other a lot. The book is just mostly about famous dead people
making fun of each other.
Yeah, like ribbing on each other. And this is a very old book. I think it was probably written early 1900s. You know what I mean? So the language is a little hard to get into, but if you pay attention to it, the humor is really, really spot on.
Right.
There's a lot of very clever ribbing in there. And spoiler alert, the funny thing about it is each chapter is like a different scene.
Mm-hmm.
They're not connected in any way. Except that in the book they talk about having a ladies' night early on in the book, and how some of the women of Hades want to have a ladies' night on the boat. And they decide that they would have one, but that they never schedule it.
Right. That's Hades as in the god of the underworld.
Yeah.
Not Hades as in like Haitian women.
No. It's Hades because that's what they call the underworld.
I know, but how you said Hades, it could sound like Hades.
Oh, no, this is the Hades, the ladies of Hades.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So, in the final chapter, all of the men go to watch a prize fight between Goliath and Samson. And while they're away watching this prize fight, the ladies of Hades sneak aboard the houseboat, declare that they are now the committee, they rule out the men, and they're having a good old time on the houseboat. But just then, Captain Kidd shows up with his pirate gang, and he's sore because the committee of the house didn't allow him in to be a member, so he cuts the boat free and lets it go down the river Styx and into the great beyond. So the moment that the women actually make it on board to have a good time, the most prominent women in Hades just disappear.
It's kind of anticlimactic.
Well, it's funny in that way though, because they talk about, like, the women keep talking about, like, finally we're the ones that get to have fun, and then,
sexist,
and then it's just like, oh, and then unfortunately this happened to all the women.
That's a good satire of the era.
Yeah,
of how treatment of women was.
Yeah, actually the book, I would say, has some very distinct moments where it basically says, like, women are no different than men. Right. And then Confucius, of all people, comes out super sexist, and he's like, no, I don't agree with that at all.
You know, I find it funny that we both chose to talk about things that kind of are empowering to women, unintentionally.
Yeah. So, yeah, Houseboat on the Styx. I mean, I really enjoy it. It's hard to listen to if you're not willing to, like, pay attention to it because of the language. I'd give it, like, a 7 out of 10.
Okay, so good.
Yeah, and it's a short read. You could do it, you know, if you have a long commute. Yeah. The other thing that I was listening to this week that is going to take me a while to get through all of them is the Witcher book series.
You love The Witcher.
I do love The Witcher.
That's all you talk about.
Yeah, I was just playing it right now before you came in. The Witcher book series is 2 different novels of basically short stories, and then 5 novels that are considered the Witcher saga.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the 5th book still has not been translated from the original Polish. The 4th book was just translated back in May, so I haven't heard the 4th book yet. And obviously I won't hear the 5th book until next year when it gets translated. So I won't know the full story. Now, all the books take place before the games. So when I meet a character in one of the games, I know, well, you know, and then we meet him in the book, it's like, oh, cool, it's like a prequel thing. But I know that this character's not going to die or anything because, you know, he's not dead. Now, as far as the books are concerned, I prefer the first 2 books, specifically the first book, but both the first 2 books that are like a collection of short stories, because they're a lot faster paced and they have more action because they are short stories. Right. You know, it's just a collection of tales about Geralt the Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that the writer does, Andrzej Sapkowski, that he uses that I think is really
big funny. Andrzej.
Yeah. He takes like popular fairy tales, like the story of the Beauty and the Beast or the Little Mermaid or whatever, the ones that Disney has adapted into movies but are very old folk tales. And he retools them in this universe to show how Geralt happens to be there for almost all of these events.
Was he having intercourse with all of them?
No.
Did he fuck Pocahontas?
No, that one's not no, that's not a European folktale.
I know, but in Disney lore, it's a fairy tale. Yeah. I know it's based on
No, but again, this is not Disney we're talking about. This is the actual folklore.
So did he, hang out with Hansel and Gretel?
They haven't mentioned Hansel and Gretel. Well, for instance, in the first book, he happens to meet this big beastly creature that has a magical ability to control everything in the house. He can make the plates move, and he can make the bath fill with bathwater. So it's almost as if everything's come to life. You know what I mean? Like in the Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
gotcha. And
that's dumb.
Because he has this huge hoard of treasure, he was cursed by some priestess or whatever. He has this huge hoard of treasure, so merchants will bring him their daughter, and the daughters will live with him for a year, and at the end of the year, he returns the daughter to the merchant, and he gives him a bunch of gold. It's been going on for a while.
So he fucks the daughters for a year?
Yeah.
That's such a bestiality thing.
Well, no, actually, they make it a point to be like, he goes, I never forced myself on them. I just, would make them food and talk to them, and eventually they would climb on me and say, devour me, you beast! Like, he goes, apparently, my form is a bit of an aphrodisiac.
That's actually like a quote?
Yeah, they have like an interesting conversation about it.
That's disgusting.
Oh, whatever, dude. Teach their gross own. Anyway, whatever, dude.
No,
this is a fantasy world.
I'm a big advocate of human rights, but bestiality?
Just let me finish.
Okay.
So basically, it turns out that the woman that he currently has with him is not human, and he knows she's not human, but he thinks that she's some kind of like a fairy, and it turns out she's a vampire, and a very powerful, dangerous vampire. So Geralt has to kill her, and in doing so, he finds out that she really did love him, the beast, that is, and he loved her, and so that true love breaks the curse. So when they kill the vampire, her blood breaks the curse.
So Belle was a vampire?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
No, it's actually really cool.
I mean, it is kind of cool.
It was
kind of dumb.
It was a really cool story. They also throw the Little Mermaid in there. They throw Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Do you meet up with Lumiere?
No. In this case, there is no Lumiere.
Oh,
that's a Disney character.
That's too bad.
In any case, the book series is really good. Now, once you get into the saga books, it's much more like somewhere between one of R.A. Salvatore's work. The writing style is a lot like R.A. Salvatore. Somewhere between Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings.
Game of the Rings.
Like, there's a lot of the political intrigue.
Lord of the Thrones.
Of Game of Thrones.
House
of
Cards.
It focuses... Batman. I'm Batman.
Die Hard.
I'm a Mario. Anyway, so basically it's good. I am currently on the first book in the saga, so I'm going to listen to 2, 3, and 4 will be the one that I have not yet heard. And then I'll have to wait till next year to get to number 5. But the book series, I really enjoy it, and I think anyone who's interested should try it out. I'd give it like a 7.5.
You're throwing out 7s today? Like, it's your job.
Yeah. Now, the first 2 books, I would give, like, a 9 and an 8 consecutively, but the saga as a whole, like, some of it is pretty slow and drawn out.
Not as much bestiality.
Not nearly enough.
Alright. That's cool.
Now, there is a bit of grog that we're sipping on that you brought.
I did. So, before we get into anything too crazy, just a tangent of sorts. So, as you probably well know, Strong of the Geek fans, we like to review things, and sometimes there are things that are pleasant and enjoyable, and sometimes they're not so much. So we're going to let you know how this one is. I brought from Victory Brewing Company their special Sour Monkey, which is a kind of sour beer blend on the traditional Golden Monkey, which, as if any of you enjoy Victory know, it is a very interesting kind of blend. So we have our Sour Monkey here to try. Cheers, my friend.
Oh, let's clinky clink.
And so here we go. We'll try it out. Slurp, slurp.
Wow, that's really sour.
See, ooh, I love it. So based on that one sip and the pre 4 to 5 sips I had, I'm going to off the
You're revealing the movie magic. That was us popping open the bottle.
plunk.
Actually, we should have waited to pop open the bottle just so we could have had
No, because the last
awesome sound
No,
effect.
because the last time we did it on the air, people really hated it. Like they hated hearing us listen to eat potato chips.
Oh yeah, that was our second episode.
And that was like the worst thing we'd ever done.
Well, we had the bag of chips really close to the speakers. I had that microphone, so it's just like
crunch, 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 crunch. All right, so no, we did try it for real. I would give it a 8 out of 10.
Wow, that's high.
I love sour beers. That one is smooth. It's not too sour, and it's not very like high like hoppiness or anything. It has the crispness and the tartness, but also
I thought you said Christmas.
It has Christmas too, but no,
It's so full of Christmas.
But it still has the Golden Monkey's little bit of like spice underneath
and fruitiness.
I can taste that spice underneath still.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm gonna give it that 8, like I mentioned.
I would say like a 5.5.
Well, you hate sour beers, though.
Yeah, but I would give all other sour beers less than a 5. So, like, I'm going to drink this glass. I'm not going to ask for a second, but I'm going to drink this glass.
Interesting. So, there you have it. Victory Sour Monkey.
Out of curiosity, do we know what the ABV on this is?
9.
Oh, okay. Well, then I give it a 6.
There we go. Now we're talking. All right. So, really quick, before we get to our Geek of the Week.
Geek of the Week!
Just a couple things to point out, and I have 2 to point out before we go on. One, you're really going to love, particularly because of last week, and that's Ben, not you fans. And 2 is just Joshy needs to go on a rant. So I'll start with Joshy's rant. This week, the trailer for Rings got dropped. The Rings got dropped out.
What?
So The Ring, and then The Ring 2. So
no,
they're doing another.
I haven't even heard of this.
Neither had I.
And they're doing it in the style of like Alien to Aliens. They just threw the S on you.
Yeah,
or Predator to Predators.
Yeah, it's Rings.
Well, in that case, is this one going to be an action movie?
No, well maybe
Because it should be. If Aliens was an action movie.
So go see the trailer. The trailer, it brings it into the modern day. So someone says, "Hey, I heard about this video that if you watch it in 7 days you die."
And someone's like,
"But
what
no,
the fuck's a video?"
But no. So she doesn't. Obviously, the trailer shows that she watches it on YouTube or something, not on her VHS. Which, to be fair, when we saw the movie years later, we did say, like, nowadays it would be like, holy shit, everyone.
Well, no, even at the time, that's a very dated reference. To be like, it's a VHS tape.
But the movie, but remember, but she had died like 20 years before or something.
Also, I want to point this out. I just drove by a box in front of someone's house like a couple hours ago that it said 50 VHS tapes for $5, and I was like,
you should have bought it.
I was thinking about it.
They were probably all porn, but no, but so
bestiality porn.
So you see her.
Take that, Hollywood.
You see her watch the YouTube video, and then basically the next third of the trailer is her basically having everything that happened in the original Ring to Naomi Watts happen to her, and then it gets really escalated and looks like a Final Destination movie, and particularly they were on a plane, and all the plane movie screens turned into the video, and they were watching the video like everyone on the plane starts crashing, and that's kind of it. It looks really fucking stupid, but I love The Ring. The original Ring is one of my favorite horror movies.
Really?
I love that movie.
That movie's super dumb.
Oh no, I think it's good. I think the plot is
I mean, the villain is scary. No, Samara is a creepy looking.
And the plot's silly, but the message behind the movie and what it was at the time in 2005 when it came out or whatever, like, I really appreciate that movie.
There's no way it was 2005.
And its creepiness. I think it's something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
And they still went with VHS?
And it's no, VHS still existed. Remember, it's supposed to be that the VHS tape was made like 10 to 20 years before.
But even then, that doesn't make sense, because wasn't Samara like a little girl from like the turn of the century?
No, because Naomi Watts meets her dad. Naomi Watts meets Samara's dad in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't. So
why did the video make it look like she was from 1907?
Because the VHS tape was like a ghost thriller.
Oh, it was a ghost tape.
Yeah, dude, just go back and rewatch. You haven't watched it in a long time.
No, I haven't.
It's really good. It's a good movie. But Ring 2, stupid as shit. And Rings looks stupid as shit. So
I remember the Ring too. That was when
The
they get
deer.
attacked by deer.
Really crappy CGI deer.
Yeah, and it wanted was it Naomi Watts again?
Yeah,
Did she reprise the role?
Yeah.
Samara wanted her to be her mother.
Yeah.
Right? And she was like, "I'm not your mama," or whatever.
I'm not your fucking mother.
Yeah, that's right.
Something stupid like that. Yeah, it was really. I mean, that was back when they strategically used the F word.
The whole point was like, we got to put her back in the well. I think.
Yeah, it was really stupid. But Ring 1's really good, so I was I hope it's good, but the trailer did not do anything.
Did you remember The Grudge?
Yeah.
Came out around the same time.
Yes. We're not gonna get in The Grudge right now. They're not remaking The Grudge, but.
Oh man, that movie was such.
Grudge 1 was creepy, but.
Yeah. Except the little boy that meowed.
No, I'm a fan of horror movies, and I'm a fan of those Japanese horror movies that are normally pretty scary that are redone in American versions. The other bit of news that this was just announced is that Angry Birds the movie, which he just talked about last week and had a hard-on for,
getting a sequel?
Confirmed.
Okay.
Sequel confirmed.
Down.
So, obviously, you gave it an 8 out of 10 last week?
I believe so.
So, right now, you guys can't see this, but he is touching his hard-on I just talked about.
Yep, because my penis is on the bottom of my foot.
He's playing with it just like that bird in the movie that was thrusting.
Chuck wanted to fuck.
Apparently he did. All right, so why don't we talk about our Geek of the Week?
All right, let's do it.
So this week we decided, why don't we go back to our roots and find a Geek of the Week who actually did something geeky and not something that we just found funny or cool.
Yeah.
And so we discovered our main man, the one and only Julian Checkley.
Yeah, Julian.
You have anything better? You have nothing better to add than that?
You made it sound like he's a friend of ours.
Oh yeah, of course he is.
Julian Checkley.
Julian Checkley is an Irish
man.
Well, God damn it.
He's an Irishman.
Yes. But he is an Irish film costume designer and special effects designer. He specializes in making monster costumes but also other costumes they use on sets and those things. And he's an IMDb page awarded designer.
Yeah,
he's actually worked on a lot of films and stuff. But the reason why he's the Geek of the Week this week is because he broke a Guinness World Record. And Benji, tell him why, because it is fucking dope.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you sent me the link to this. So, basically, the record is actually for the most gadgets, like working gadgets, that are implemented into a cosplay costume. So this is not, like, for a movie. This is something that he did for himself. He created the most badass Batman costume I've ever seen. He modeled it after the Arkham games.
Arkham Origins specifically.
Yeah, it's very armored, a lot of gray and black.
And to be fair, it looks exactly like the Arkham Origins costume.
Yeah, it's very tough. Like it looks better than any Batman costume we've seen in any movie, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely, by far. And it looks more comic book accurate than anyone.
Yeah, except maybe the bat nipples.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
I mean, Joel Schumacher made art. Pure Greek sex art.
So this suit has actual smoke bombs, actual, bat gas, actual fire bombs that shoot out the wrists.
Bat gas.
Yeah, so if he turns...
you mean like a aerosol gas dispenser?
Yeah, if he turns...
Not just like a bat with like some
flatulence problem. No. If he turns his wrist down, it shoots out this gas that is obviously it's supposed to be like the fear top gas or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's just
CO2.
like CO2. But he also has
a flashlight on one gauntlet, a laser sight on the other. A black light,
a laser sight, and our personal favorite.
A magnetic tracker batarang that he can throw at cars.
And it has, so in the gauntlet, if he turns his wrist over, he has kind of like, almost like,
he has a little screen on
like, kind of like, well, almost like a QB's playbook, but for him, it's a screen that he is linked Bluetooth to the bat tracker. He throws this thing, it magnets onto something, and then he can track it on his wrist where it's going. And this motherfucker actually works.
He made that shit.
He is legitimately a superhero. Well, he hasn't fought crime yet, but he could be a superhero. If him and Phoenix Jones teamed up, get the shit out of here.
Or just this guy could make Phoenix Jones' new costume. Like remake it for him.
And the best part is, this dude, I don't know if you read this, when he's in costume, so there must be some risers on like the shoes or something, or how the costume fits. When he's wearing it, he's 6'10".
Jesus.
He is enormous. This is literally Batman brooding over you.
Yeah.
Like, Ben Affleck's a tall dude, and I heard that on set, Ben Affleck just, like, stormed over everybody, but not 6'10".
No. Well, and I think Zack Snyder might have enhanced him even more so with some of the CGI. Because, like, he looks like he's 4 feet wide in some of those shots, shoulder to shoulder.
Well, to be fair, did you see how big he got, like, in interviews and stuff?
Well, I mean, shit, just that scene where he's training in BVS.
Yeah.
And
that was
throwing fucking tires around.
That wasn't 300 training.
You know what? I don't even know if Zack Snyder wrote that scene. Ben Affleck was just like, "You're gonna film my workout routine," and he was like, "All right."
Well, and when he flips at the end, he's just like, "Yeah!" and screams. Like, you knew that was just them. Like, they had one of the cameras happened to be on. Actually, no, Ben turned it on when no one was watching. He was like, made sure it was in HD. Like, yes, woo! Jennifer Garner's gone. I love this shit.
Hashtag gains.
Boston. Hit Kevin Smith up.
I'm gonna work out with Mark Wahlberg.
So yeah,
I don't know where that was.
Do we have anything to add for our man Julian? Or
when you sent me that, you're like, "This guy's the geek of the week." I thought this guy's the geek of all fucking time.
We'll tweet out his Guinness World Record video because it's absurd in a great way. Julian, congratulations! You're our geek. You're a Guinness World Record holder now, and you're also even more prestigious, a strong geek.
Yeah. We hope to run into you at a Comic-Con very shortly.
And I want you to design me a bat suit too.
Yeah. So you can just live in it.
Yep. All the time.
Go to therapy sessions and
to be fair, if he can make me a suit of any sort, like I would tell him not even Batman, just make me anything. Because I looked up some of his like costume work from other stuff. Like, he's great.
Yeah,
he makes great stuff.
Did you see the lineup of Darth Vader helmets?
Yeah,
they were so good.
He started with Darth Vader. Yeah, very cool.
If I can go on a little tangent just for a second, something popped into my head. When I was talking about like you just going to your everyday job as Batman. Are you familiar with the comedian Louis Black?
Mm-hmm.
He talks about how Halloween is not a holiday made for children. That as an adult, or that it is a holiday made for children, not for adults. Because children are told that they can't wear whatever they want all year long, so one day a year you have to let them dress up like something. He goes, however, you can do whatever you want. You're an adult. If you wake up tomorrow and you decide that you want to be Batman, you can put on a batsuit and go to your work and sit at your cubicle, and everyone will stare at you. And then when your boss comes by and says, "Who are you?" you can turn and look at him and say, "I am Batman." It's just like,
as long as you're doing your job.
Exactly. And I wonder, I don't know, I want to do that. I mean, I drive a truck, so it would be even funnier for, I guess, someone to look up and see a truck driver dressed as Batman. I know I one time on Halloween saw a truck driver wearing one of the Scream masks, which is probably a terrible idea because that thing has fabric over the eyes.
Wait, so why don't you just do it? Why don't you just wear a Batman mask?
I'm thinking about it.
Do it. Why not?
Just one day, like, driving around. Now, I wear prescription glasses, though, so I'd have to get either contacts or, like, a bat cowl that has lenses in it.
Or you could cosplay as something else.
Someone who wears glasses.
Clark Kent.
Well, then I'll just look like a business guy who happens to be driving a truck.
You'll be the only one. You'll be the only one. All right, so speaking about Clark Kent and Batman and all those things, I think it's time for our main topic. So tonight we decided we are going to address our hopes, dreams, and unfortunately our fears for the upcoming slate of superhero films. Because we obviously live in the glorious era where we're getting a new fucking superhero movie like every 3 months. Yep. So both from the Marvel end and the DC end, we are just going to quickly go through what we know is upcoming and what we hope comes out of it and what we really, really hope they don't screw up.
Right.
So first things first, we know that very shortly we're going to be having from the DC end Wonder Woman. So, and as I mentioned, obviously, so I'll let Ben go first. I now am a huge Wonder Woman fan, so to speak. I mean, I really have a new appreciation for the character. So, Benny boy, tell me, what do you hope to get out of Wonder Woman, and what do you really hope you don't get out of Wonder Woman?
All right, here's how it goes. I hope with Wonder Woman we can get the DC movie universe on track, because despite it making lots and lots of money, there is a lot of fear that it cannot work because they've not gotten the huge reception that Marvel got with its first few movies with Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and now Suicide Squad. There's been a lot of mixed to negative critical review, and a lot of fan arguments as to whether or not they're doing the characters properly or doing the characters justice. So I want justice. I want to see a Wonder Woman movie that comes out of it with a, first of all, certified fresh Rotten Tomato score that the critics. The critics, hang on, let me finish. This is my part.
Fuck the critics.
The critics are going to say, hey, this is a good movie. And that the fans can also get behind and say, hey, they didn't fuck this one up.
Hold on a second. Oh, you are a hypocrite, because we have on this show, people can go back and get evidence. We have said multiple times, we don't give a shit about Rotten Tomatoes.
You've said that.
No, you on the show have said you hate.
Look, Rotten Tomatoes is an aggregate of different critics. So but
it's flawed. It's very flawed. It sometimes rates reviews that are considered mixed or good bad.
Well, all I'm saying is that I'm just
it's a flawed tool.
I'm using that as an example.
You want
Metacritic, whatever.
So you want to critically acclaimed.
I want it to be a movie that more people say is good than say is bad.
Critics though, because you care about reviews so much.
Fan and professional reviewers,
and
yes.
Fans have enjoyed the other DC movies way more than critics have.
Some.
Majority.
I don't know if I'd say majority.
If you're looking on the internet's full of haters. Talk to actual
The internet is full of human beings.
No. Hold on a second.
Oh, and trolls.
No, hold on a second. Don't tell me that the internet has more on anything in the world. Anything you look up has more positive comments than negative on the internet. That's fucking bullshit. And
puppy videos.
Because more negative. Kill those fucking dogs. Because people on the internet choose to be mean for whatever reason.
Take that.
If you really truly think, dude, if our show was popular enough that we were getting a lot of internet comments, they would all be telling us we were fucking horrible, idiots.
They would call you a DC lover and that Marvel.
No, they call me a DICK lover. They wouldn't be no holds bar. The internet's the worst. I understand where you're coming from, but that's why I don't give a shit about reviews.
Okay, well, you could try to shut it down all you want. I'm just saying that after 3 movies that a lot of people have outright said, they're making bad movies. They're making movies that sell, but they're not good movies. I want to see a movie where everyone, for the most part, says, yeah, that was a good movie. Okay. Everyone thinks Iron Man 1 was a good movie.
No, I'm not a big fan of it.
You don't like Marvel.
No, I do. I do
and you
like Marvel.
hate Iron Man.
No, I do like Marvel. I think
the original Iron Man was a good movie.
And I loved Iron Man when he was in the Iron Man cartoon and the old Iron Man. You should remember this. I used to have a War Machine toy that was my favorite toy. I used to love Iron Man and War Machine. And then the movie came out and I fucking hated it. I did not like it. I don't like any of them.
That's wrong. All right, so whatever. In any case, there hasn't been as a side-by-side comparison, Batman vs. Superman and Captain America Civil War came out within a month of each other. Both of them have very similar premises. Superheroes fighting superheroes.
That was a coincidence.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's beside the point. That's beside the point. Here's what I'm saying. One of them did not have people arguing tooth and nail over whether it was good, and one of them did.
Yeah, but one movie was also well established in its universe that no matter what happens, people are gonna like it.
Well, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why we had to wait many, many years before we got the superheroes fighting movie. Maybe the superheroes got to work together before they fight each other.
But what I'm saying,
we already had our Batman vs Superman episode.
No,
that was our very first episode.
No, what I just find interesting is, this is just a point. I find it interesting that you're hoping. Our question here was, what do you hope you get out of the Wonder Woman movie? And you didn't say anything about content. You said, I hope I get a movie that critics like. Who gives a shit? Don't you hope you get a movie?
I said I hope we get a good movie.
Don't you get no? You said you hope we get a movie that gets a good Rotten Tomato score. Don't you hope we get a movie that you enjoy? All right. What do you hope you don't get?
All right. I hope I don't get
a movie that critics don't hate again.
I hope I do not get a movie that doesn't get the tone right.
Okay,
that's a more dropping the ball with tone.
In your opinion.
In many people's opinion. Superman is not supposed to be dour and sad all the time. He's supposed to be the Blue Boy Scout. He's supposed to be the shining light.
Okay, and there's times when he is
Batman is not supposed to grenade people to death. And the Suicide Squad couldn't figure out if they were going to be a fun, like, happy-go-lucky sort of, like, troop, or if they were going to be talking about murdering their own children.
All right, so...
It's totally off.
All right, time for actual content. So, what do I hope I get out of... I'm excited to see your opinion on this dumb when we get to the Doctor Strange shit. Okay, so...
If we want to talk about specific things, I can tell you what I specifically want to see it more of in Wonder Woman, and
well, no, you
want to see less
you,
of.
You wasted your turn, so.
Well, I guess you're setting the rules for this one.
Yeah, you can redeem yourself on the next one.
I want to see her use her lasso.
No, well, you waste... No. You have to shut up. You've wasted too much time. No. Okay.
I don't want to see her throw her shield and catch it.
None. You've wasted your time. Okay, so I'm hoping to see a very cool Hades. And actually the Greek gods as a whole. When they introduce the Greek gods into the DC universe, I want it to be done cool, not Clash the Titans like we talked last week, not that style. I'm hoping to see, like I mentioned before, some of that Diana's a dichotomy of being this fierce warrior, but also just a loving, compassionate diplomat. I want to see that. The things I don't... And also, one more thing. I also want to see the comedy of, like, Etta Candy and, like, her... Because she's always, like, kind of Wonder Woman's, like, funny, like, friend. I want to see that funny side.
Well, that and the awkward kind of reactions between Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor.
What I don't want to see is a Steve Trevor, Diana, like, off the bat, like, in love story. If there's a romance there, that's fine. That's fine. It's inevitable and it's comic book accurate. But in the original, Diana falls in love with Steve while he's like in a coma, which is weird. So I don't want that to happen, which I don't think will. 2, I don't want to see a shitty forced villain. I don't want it to be mostly us getting an idea of... I want the villain to be in there the whole time, whether they're just conniving or they're mad or whatever. I want the villain to be kind of built up the whole time. And finally, yes, I don't want to see Diana throwing her shield.
Yeah,
like,
nobody wants
if she gets one shield throw, that's cool. But
she better not catch that shield out of the air.
Or at least, if she does catch
it, better stick in something.
Or if she catches it, it's because it bounced off something and it was like flying weird way, and she has good reflexes, like Odell Beckham. Not just it happened to boomerang.
You know what? If she throws her shield and it ricochets, and she throws her lasso and catches it with the lasso,
that would be dope.
And like pulls it back in, I'll give you that one.
Okay.
Or if she attaches the lasso to the shield and uses it like Kratos' pendulum.
That is sweet. I also want to see her, and yeah, like you mentioned, I want to see her use the lasso actually as the lasso of truth, or if they use it in its original incarnation as like a lasso of obedience, that would be cool too.
I mean, in the trailers we saw some awesome combat usages of it, which is neat because I've never really seen her use it like that before.
Which is the way she does use it, and it's awesome. All right, so let's move on to Doctor Strange.
Okay, Doctor Strange coming out. Now that I have an idea of what you mean by what do I want to see and what I don't want to see.
Yeah, you want to, because it would be the same for, if you want to say you want to see a good movie that critics like and I don't want to see a bad movie. Listen, you could have said that, you could say that about every single movie. Literally every one movie on the list would be the exact same critique.
I understand that, but when we're talking about the DC movies, which 3 movies so far in the universe.
In your opinion.
No, in critical opinion.
Yeah, wait, dude, why?
Overall. I'm saying wait, hold
on. You're telling me that there's no movie this is a tangent, a waste of time, but you're telling me there's no movie you like that critically is a good movie or wasn't even considered by critics as a film to consider?
I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying that
this is a talk for another episode. Let's talk about Doctor Strange.
Jesus. All right, Doctor Strange. What do I want to see out of this movie?
Yeah.
I want to see real, genuine, goddamn magic.
Now we're talking.
I don't want to see it become like. I don't want to see it be alien technology.
I'm excited by the screenshots of him with like the hex signs coming out of his hands.
Yeah, I don't want it to be alien technology. I don't want it to be. It turns out he has some kind of mutation,
right,
or whatever. I want it to be genuine, goddamn magic.
Right.
I want to see some awesome, combat scenes, because here's the thing: not only is it sorcery, but these guys are like trained monks. You know what I mean? I think this would be a good opportunity for the Marvel Cinematic Universe
show off its
to bring in some kind of some of that kung fu movie sort of feel. I mean, they're already going to the East Asian sort of like Tibetan mountain sort of thing.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they replaced the Ancient One with Tilda Swinton, who is that's in one of those I didn't want to see things.
Not Asian.
Yeah, and God damn it, I was less angry, or I shouldn't say angry because this doesn't actually affect me, but I was less bothered by the fact that they made the Ancient One a woman. I'm totally fine with that. Don't make the Ancient One a white woman. These are Tibetan monks.
Yeah.
Like, free Tibet. Just any Asian actor.
No, so admit, you don't want to see Tilda Swinton. Like, you're going to have to, but you don't want to.
I would have preferred to see Tilda Swinton.
So that's one of your... You don't want to see her.
Here's what I don't want to see. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to see her regardless, I can't choose that.
You can admit things you're not looking forward to seeing.
Oh, wait. One more thing that I do want to see, despite the first one I said, which is real goddamn magic, I don't want them to just be like, and that's magic, because magic is magic. Like,
of course, you want to. You love explanations, but without exposition. So you want a expository explanation for magic.
Well, no. Here's the thing that in any book I read or any movie I watch.
You mean book you listen to? You don't read books.
Well, I listen to books. I listen to books, but it's just as good as reading them. In some cases, better. Anyway, God damn it, you derailed my thought. Okay, so one thing that I've always liked is when you have an explanation of magic, but not by saying, like, I'm going to use a magic spell to turn him into a toad. Like, what?
Right. No,
that doesn't make sense in the realms of physics.
Right, like when it's like the human life force is connected to the earth, and so they can summon the earth's power if they have, like, a sensible connection to that life force, and that's how they can summon, like, rock bodies to fly or trees to change.
Or to be like, for instance, I'm going to make this entire room, I'm going to turn this entire room, like, frozen, because I'm going to pull all of the heat out of the room.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or I'm going to crystallize all the, like, liquid in the air.
Exactly. Yeah. So they're using magic to influence actual physical law.
Right.
And
but magic in its sense is defying matter and laws.
Exactly. But to just say, like, and if you have magic, it's magic. It's like, it seems like a really boring plot device, because you're like, then what can't he do?
But that's the point of magic, is that if you know the spell to do anything, you can do anything.
I don't know, I like when magic is...
It's scientific.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. That it's not like, oh, it's an alien technology, or oh, it's some kind of mutant power, but it is manipulating the forces of physics, but you can't do that without having the forces of physics.
I agree with that to an extent, but at the same time, I like the fact that the mystic realm is something that exists outside of our knowledge of science and how matter works. And the reason why is that it connects to the spiritual kind of component, that you have to have your spirit in the correct psyche, so to speak, and you also have to have the right power of will and wisdom, and almost that, like homeostasis of your spirit with the spirits around you, to be able to manipulate them in ways that could not be done by scientific means. So in that extent, no, the idea of turning just a clock out of nowhere into a pigeon, like, I'm okay with that, because sometimes both Marvel and DC and whatever wizards or witches we see are able to do that, but it's because they have to be a strong enough wizard, meaning that spiritual connection to life, that they're able to manipulate literally at the subatomic level. So it's still scientific.
Exactly.
They can completely change matter.
Yeah.
But that's the strength of, like, a true sorcerer supreme.
Exactly. So, now, as far as what I don't want to see in this movie, I don't want to see a big blue or green laser shooting up into the sky with a bunch of debris floating around it in an orbit, because it's going to destroy the world. I don't want to see a giant CGI flaming head Dormammu. You know what I mean? I want Dormammu to be in this movie. I don't want him to look exactly the way he looks in the comics, because the movie looks like has a very gritty, realistic look.
But don't you want comic books to be the movies? To the best of their ability?
Not necessarily.
Oh, man. I love when the comic... If the X-Men would have walked out in X-Men 1 wearing their animated cartoon costumes, only adult versions, I thought it would have been awesome.
But some things, when you translate it to real-life medium, it looks silly. That's the reason why they changed Captain America's costume right after Avengers, because everyone was like, Captain America looks really dumb standing next to Iron Man.
But because the way they did it was silly, they didn't make it look cool. You can make it be comic.
Well, and then they did make it look cool by going back to the kind of the design that they had for.
We got our first Batman,
the first Avenger.
But it doesn't look comic book accurate then at all.
No,
like, we got our first.
Oh, it looks like the original.
We got our first Batman v Superman, or Batman v Superman. We got our first like comic book accurate Batman costume, and it looks cool. It looks cool.
Okay, but I'm just saying, this would be like a giant version of Ghost Rider. You know what I mean? Big flaming skull. Like, it would just be a big monster. You know what I mean? And I would rather see Dormammu take a human form. Now, we know that Mads Mikkelsen is playing some kind of a character in the movie. To my understanding, we're not entirely... We know he's a villain, but we don't know exactly who he is yet. If it turns out that he is Dormammu, and this is kind of like a... they're trying to throw up some shade about that, I would like to see him, like, just stay in a human form. He doesn't have to be crazy fantastical to be super powerful. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you can't relate as a viewer. You can't relate with a giant fire-headed demon monster, but you can relate with a dude. So I think the best villains are the villains that are relatable. So if we're gonna have a good villain in a Marvel movie, which we've had, what, 2?
Maybe.
1?
That's generous.
Yeah. I mean, if Loki was went into a giant frost giant form, you could no longer relate to him.
Right.
But because he's just a dude who had some daddy issues, people relate to him. And such, he's the only really good villain they've had. I would like to see another great villain, but you can't do that if you have a giant CGI monster. Well, and you can't do that if you have a giant laser beam going up in the sky that's threatening to destroy society.
So I'm fine with before I go into mine really quick, I'm fine with having a CGI monster, as long as that CGI monster, because Hulk is a CGI monster, but as long as it's a CGI monster that's, one, developed throughout the movie, and not in stupid ass, just like, I'm torturing a guy randomly and my name is Zemo. Like developed at a human level throughout the movie, and also doesn't get killed off at the end, so that, and not just will appear in other movies, then I'm okay with it. So here's what I want out of Doctor Strange. I want to see I agree with the idea of wanting to see the magic at a cool level. I want to see just the magic used in a lot of different ways. So I don't want to see him just sending force fields or force beams. I want to see him like actually using his magic like to solve puzzles or to move to like manipulate matter to really change things. And I know you were just saying that you don't like how it can defy the laws of physics, but I want to see that. I want to see magic used at that defiance of physics level. 2, I would like to see Doctor Strange, I hate to compare it to DC movies, but I honestly want to see the film as a whole follow kind of a similar Batman Begins format, where the origin story part is like the actual, like, him in his car accident and him going up the mountain and all that kind of stuff, which, by the way, is very similar to Batman Begins, going up to meet Tibets. I want to see that be maybe the first act, maybe the first half of the movie, and the second half solid him as Doctor Strange. That's one thing about the Iron Man movie that pissed me off, that so much was building up to him being Iron Man, and a lot of movies, and I'm not saying just Marvel or just DC, a lot of movies, period, in general, superhero movies, and their origins, and I love origin stories, do this. They take so long to get the character to be the character, and then they rush the last part of it. And I hate that. I like a good 50-50 split. If you're going to do the origin movie, that's cool. I love origin stories. The first half, how'd they get there? The second half, this is their first thing they have to do as that person. And you can still have that component of them still learning, which is part of it. And they should fuck up along the way, which I think Man of Steel, I know you don't like it, but I think Man of Steel and
I don't completely dislike
Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel did a really good job with the second half of it, and even the end. I know a lot of people hate the fact that he killed Zod, and I understand that, but it shows that it was his first time facing a true threat, and he didn't know what to do in that moment, and he just did the one thing to save that family that he thought he could do. And Batman Begins is one that I actually, so sometimes he's so good, and this is in the Batman comics, this is why it's a little like, I love Batman Begins, but he sometimes is too good as Batman too quick. Like, I wanted to see him not as good when he's fighting that group of villains when he's trying to get Carmine Falcone.
Yeah.
Like, not be that good. kind of fuck up.
You're not Batman.
Yet. You are Batman, but you're not totally Batman.
Yeah, this is Batman year one.
So I want to see Doctor Strange be Doctor Strange, red cape, goatee, all that shit. Able to make hexes and all that kind of stuff, but still fuck up. Like,
what if we did a what if we did? But what if it turns out to be like a non-linear origin story?
No, I don't want that. I want a linear. I want a linear. I don't want flashbacks.
So we want to have him wake up in the morning. I'm Doctor Strange. I'm going into surgery. Oh no, I was in a car accident. And like just straight up.
Yeah.
Beat for beat.
I'm just over flashbacks. We get flashbacks of Batman Begins, flashbacks. The entire show of Arrow, flashbacks. Flashbacks are something that they're cool. I enjoy them, but at the same time, Man of Steel, flashbacks. Like, I'm over flashbacks. Let's do an action. Let's try. Let's see what we can do with a linear story. Things I don't want to see. One, I have to agree with you. I don't want to see Tilda Swinton at all. Two, I don't want to see just like stupid. The stupid like trial and error. So I want to see the origin, but I don't want to see the stupid parts of the origin. I don't want to see him like his first attempt to move a chair and then he drops the chair on his head and they laugh at him. Like, I don't want to see that.
Oh yeah.
Like the cliche, like the Matrix and all those things, where it's the first time he jumps off a building and fails. I'm tired of seeing that. I want to see, or the Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, I think it's supposed to humanize.
No, I want to see his first attempts, and I know I'm kind of contradicting myself. I want to see him as an early sorcerer, but I don't want to see him fucking up for comedy relief. I want to see him genuinely trying. So, for example, the best example I can give is Empire Strikes Back. When Luke fails to move the X-Wing out of the water, that's not a comedy moment. Or when he drops the rocks or anything. Yeah. It's a legitimately, he's trying.
It's a character moment.
And he's not able to put it up. Spider-Man falling off a building or all this kind of stuff.
Or Neo hitting the ground.
Yeah, those are silly. You laugh at them, and yes, they're humanizing, but they're silly. I want to see the sorcerer trying his hardest and legitimately failing because he's not ready. Just like Luke he failed because it was and the thing is like using the Force is kind of like using magic, almost identically actually. It's a spirit and will. It's a legitimate failure because he's not internally ready, and that I'm cool with. I don't want to see him failing for nonsense sake.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Ready to move on?
Sure.
All right, our next DC film, you're gonna love this one. How's about your thought for the Lego Batman movie?
I think this movie looks fantastic. The trailer, just where Alfred breaks down the entire filmography of Batman, as if like all Batman movies and all Batman stories take place on those years, but in real timelines. So it's like we went through this back in 2000 whatever and 2000 whatever and 2000 whatever and 1999 whatever.
Right.
It looks fantastic.
No, I totally agree. I want that to be part of the movie. I don't want that to be a trailer bait. I want that to be the movie.
Yeah. So going into this movie, what I would want to see out of it, obviously a bigger, strong voice cast.
Yeah.
Just like they did with the Lego movie.
I want to see everything. I want to see them throw in as much DC stuff as they can.
Yeah.
Because they can get away with it with this one.
I want to see. I don't know if they have a Joker and if they have a voice actor.
I
haven't looked at it.
All that.
I totally want Mark Hamill to be the Joker.
That'd be cool.
Because, I mean, if you're going to have an animated Joker, it's got to be Mark Hamill.
Right.
Frankly, I think if you're going to have a live-action Joker, it should be Mark Hamill, but he's a little old now.
Right.
But regardless, I don't know what else I could say that I want to see out of this movie. I just want to see this movie.
I just want to see Batman doing, like, everything, like the entire spectrum of Batman things. From the silly, like, 66 shark repellent all the way to, the intense Dark Knight showdown with like slamming Joker's head and beating up people and I don't wear hockey masks, like all that. I want to see all that in this movie because it's a celebration of all that.
Yeah.
What I don't want to see is exposition at any level. I want them to have Detective Chimp and Crypto and all them show up and no explanation at all. Like I want
leave it to the audience to have to look it up.
And if you don't, that's on you because this movie is for people, 1, who love Legos, and 2, people who love Batman, 3, people who love all that stuff.
Yeah.
If you're going to see this movie, perhaps you've played the Lego Batman game.
Maybe do some research.
Yeah. Like I want Ace the Bat Hound to show up and him to be like, Ace, get out of here. And no one will know who that is. But like you and I will be like, yes, it's Ace the Bat Hound. This is the one time where it could be total goofy fan service, and I'm cool with
like in that
Bring
first scene where he
Batmite
said,
out of it.
How cool would it be if like he says like Robin, and then just like
Every
six
Robin.
different Robins show up.
Carrie Kelly,
Yeah.
Silver, whoever, yeah.
Silver whoever.
Silver St. Cloud?
Yeah. Tim Drake, Jason Todd, Dick Grayson, they just all show up
Everybody.
in their various
Damien,
Robin costumes, and they're like, "Yes, Batman!"
And he looks and he's like, "I thought you were dead." Like to Jason. Jason's like, "Oh yeah," and puts the Red Hood mask on. He's like, "Now we're talking."
But actually, he would just pull off his head and put on the Red Hood head.
Yeah,
that would be the Lego Movie way to do that.
Oh yes, I think we were on the same page here. We want to, and obviously we want to see, and there's no doubt in my mind after watching the Lego Movie, an excellent usage of the Lego trope.
Yeah.
That if every time he wants to become Bruce Wayne, he has to pull off his head and put the Bruce Wayne head on.
Oh, another thing, I want to see this be a sequel to the Lego Movie.
Oh, I don't. I want it to be totally.
Oh, really? I'd love to see connection, like him talking about his ex-girlfriend, talking about Wild Style from the Lego Movie.
Yeah.
And it's like there's like, I don't know if I can ever get over her.
I want this to be a totally separate entity in its own.
I don't know.
And also, one thing I don't want it to have like a final, like the Lego Movie where it ends, where it was like, oh, it was all this boy's and his dad's imagination. Fuck that.
Yeah, no.
I want it to be
we
a total.
Don't need that.
I don't want it to be a total inherent just Lego story.
Yeah.
Like no humans, just Legos.
No, I agree with that. I would like to see it connect in some way to the actual movie, because then we could have characters that aren't necessarily Batman characters involved in it.
But I don't want that. I want it to be a solid
I'm just
Batman
saying,
movie.
though, then that's on what you don't want. That's what I want.
Right.
But we agree that we both don't want there to be a moment with a chubby, curly-headed kid.
No, Will Ferrell's cool.
And Will Ferrell.
No. If anything, oh man, I'd really love to see Batmite. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Because we're never gonna get Batmite or Crypto or any of them or Ambush Bug. Like none of them will ever show up in the DC movie universe, which is fine.
I don't know about that, dude. Batman v Superman 2 is gonna be like Crypto v Bathound.
That'd be dope. But no, I would love to see my silly Mixie Pitlick, Bizarro. Like straight up Bizarro. Like if this is the one movie, unless they make a Lego Justice League or something, this is the movie where throw them all in there. Throw the stupid Idiocracy, Professor Pig, all of them. Throw them in there, and I will love it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they're Legos.
Polka Dot Man.
All right. So how about Guardians of the Galaxy #2?
Okay. So Guardians of the Galaxy 2. What I want to see out of it is a deeper storyline involving the connection between.
They are a team now.
Star-Lord and his father.
Oh, okay.
Kurt Russell's character, who's apparently also the Living Planet, which I don't know how they're going to do that. Maybe the Living Planet is in this one is going to be like a giant ship, a space station, perhaps.
Or maybe it's like the Wizard of Oz, where he like lives in the center.
Yeah, and like maybe it's just like talking through a loudspeaker,
or
maybe it's like a spirit sort of thing. Yeah,
he
who knows?
His spirit went to the planet.
Maybe he was the planet the whole time, and he manifested in a human form to bonk, Star-Lord's mom. Like he Zeused it. You know what I mean?
That'd be cool.
Maybe.
Well, not cool. But that'd be
it's kind of rapey, but
that'd be a thing.
Now that being said, other things I want to see out of this movie, I want to see another great soundtrack. I want to see more of that awesome humor that is felt so real, despite being like silly, because they didn't try to like make the humor different from how normal people talk.
Which,
you know what I mean? Like when Raccoon stands up and Rocket Raccoon stands up and he goes, "Look at us, 4 people standing up, bunch of jackasses," or whatever the line is. Right. It's like, yeah, that's an actual thing someone might say.
And I will say that
it doesn't sound like a movie line.
We always talk about things that, well, not we. You always talk about things that take you out of the movie. And to be honest, it's funny because Guardians of the Galaxy is probably the biggest culprit of having lines that take me out of the movie and be like, no, aliens wouldn't talk like that. They've never been to Earth ever. But I'm like, that's fine. Like when they're talking about like oh, they're an a-hole, or when Star-Lord's flicking them off and like the computer recognizes it's an obscene gesture, and they're like making jokes about like, no, they wouldn't talk like that. Yeah. They wouldn't. They've never been to Earth. But I love it for the humor it is, and I agree with you. And I want it, and I want it to continue because I appreciate it for what it is. I want it to continue. In reality, no, fuck them. We meet aliens. If I say like, yeah, man, you're a real jack off, they'll be like, what is?
I don't think anyone's 100% dick.
They'll say what is?
That's
no,
gotta be one of the funniest lines of that movie.
they would just say like, what is jack off? Like they won't know.
No, everyone knows what jacking off is. Even space dicks.
So things I want to see. I want to see the teamwork as a coherent team, because we only got to see that for. It was another origin story where most of the origin story was origin, and them actually together was a little smidge. 2, I want to see a lot more of Drax being unable to understand.
Oh, yeah.
Sarcasm.
Yeah, give Dave Bautista more lines.
Give him everything you want to do. And finally, the thing I really want to see is I want to see more, A-list actors or whoever they sign on having prominent roles. Things I don't want to see to start. I don't want Yondu, and Yondu's going to be a core team member, and I am not happy at all about that. I fucking hated Yondu. I thought Yondu was stupid. His whistling little arrow, his accent stupid, his blue skin, his fin head. I thought he was stupid.
Fair enough. All right. I don't want to see another garbage villain.
Yeah.
I don't want to see another throwaway villain because they should have a great villain. Yeah. They really should. Who knows? Maybe it turns out to be Kurt Russell. And if that was the case, like the father versus something,
hold on a second.
I mean, it's
very
Star Wars.
That's it. It's let's be honest. You heard it here first. That's definitely it.
Yeah.
Like if it's not that cool, but that's definitely fucking it. Like.
What else I don't want to see? I don't want this to become...
Oh, shit, they're going to have to fight a planet like Star Fox.
Yeah.
We figured out the movie. Shit.
Well, they're going to have to blow up a giant planet-shaped thing.
Death Star.
That is based on a father-son relationship.
And they're both owned by Disney. We figured out the movie.
It's Star Guardians of the Warlords.
We don't want to see Star Wars again. We do, but
His name is Star-Lord, which... slant rhymes with Star Wars.
And Sith Lord, Star Wars, throw it all together. Alright, what else do you know?
Oh man, we got to the bottom of this conspiracy. I don't want to see this become a bloated thing with too many different emotional through lines. Basically, we're going to have some kind of major interaction between Peter Quill and his father. Alright? Now, we're probably also going to get something between Gamora and...
Thanos?
No. What's the girl's name? Shit, I can't think.
Sister of Gamora.
Yeah.
Gamora's sister, who is confirmed to be in it.
Yeah, and I think is going to probably end up being with the team, judging by the picture. But that's going to be, there's going to be a lot of different things going on.
Oh,
I don't want the movie to become bloated.
I also don't want the team to be that big. I like the team.
Yeah, no, that's the same thing I'm saying. I don't want it to become overblown. Now, the team is bigger in the comics. There are other members that we haven't seen yet, like Adam Warlock and whatnot. But that being said...
Isn't Nova going to be in the movie too?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh man, so many people.
And that's what I was saying before. I don't want it to feel bloated. And I'm afraid it might be. Also, another thing I don't want to see, faceless villain horde. We get a lot of faceless villain hordes in movies.
You can't, if you're going to have an army to fight, you can't put a name and a face on all the army.
Right, no, I understand that. But when it's an army of people, it's one thing. But what they do in these movies to completely
CGI
dehumanize
soldiers,
them is they're just like, okay, it's just a group of aliens that all look the same. Or it's a group of robots that Ultron's controlling.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's you can just kill them all. Don't even think about it.
Cannon fodder.
Because, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whereas, I would love to see a realistic superhero movie where they're dealing with, like, an army or whatever, and you see, like, Captain America be like... Or, like, they have to think about, like,
but you know
the consequences of their actions.
There are some movies where that's part of the movie that's going to happen. So, for example, I know Avengers. I hated that the Chitauri came out of nowhere, but I'm not mad that the Chitauri were faceless soldiers, because that's what they are.
Yeah.
Same thing with, like, Justice League. It's guaranteed that the Parademons are going to be faceless soldiers, because that's literally what they are.
Yeah.
They're for Darkseid.
And that's what they are written for.
Yeah.
Is to be something for the superheroes to fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but not even that. Like, that's also their sole purpose in life. Darkseid, takes them, turns them into...
Sure. I'm saying, like, the purpose of the writers creating these
Right.
type of things. It's the same reason, like, in video games, you fight Goombas before you fight Bowser.
But isn't that kind of what all soldiers, like field soldiers and infantry, are?
I know, but what I'm saying is...
You want them to be personal, but
I
that's way
want-
too many characters. You said you don't want there to be too many characters.
No.
but-
I'm not saying that we need to get the backstories on these characters. I'm just saying I would love to see a movie in which, instead of Loki getting in leagues with a giant alien force or whatever,
They're just
he
fighting
takes
Loki.
control of the minds of people, for instance.
Right, which he did.
So he
you
sets...
did see that.
Yeah, so he sets an army to attack the heroes or whatever, and they're like, we can't kill these people. These are people.
Right, and
You know
they
what I
and they weren't. Well, actually, the Avengers do kill a lot, but they presumably weren't trying to kill.
So I don't know. I would like to see how good people have to deal with hard situations, which they don't have to deal with if it's just another faceless horde.
Sure. All right.
Literally, Suicide Squad, they had no faces.
No, and from what we've seen,
she took them and turned them into faceless.
and to be fair, what we've seen from some of these upcoming films that we're talking about, that is going to be the case.
Yeah.
So.
Lots of sky lasers, lots of faceless hordes.
Okay, so how about we do two more? One more DC, one more Marvel. I'd be amiss if I didn't say.
Remiss.
No, I know, I miss, like a total miss.
Oh, okay.
No, not remiss, like a total fucking miss. No. Justice League, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So, what do I want to see out of the Justice League? The Justice League. No, what do I want to see? Okay, a couple things. One, I want to see them using their powers together. I want to see Flash at super speed. Actually, we got a little taste of this in BVS when like Wonder Woman like hit Doomsday with her shield and Superman smashed down from the sky. I want to see that exact scene for an entire fucking battle scene.
Yeah.
I want to see
them working together.
I want to, because that's what the Justice in the books. That's what Justice League does all the time.
You want to see Batman spring off of Wonder Woman's shield so that he can punch some dude in the face.
That's total Captain America kind of bullshit. No.
You want to see Cyborg reflect a laser beam. No, damn it. You want to see
No.
nothing involving her shield because that's already been done by Captain America.
No, I don't want to see because listen, you're trying to be sardonic about it. No, Marvel did in Avengers 2 and Civil War. Marvel did a really good job with this, and I like that. I want to see DC, our first Avengers of DC, do that exact same thing. I want to see their powers working together. So I want to see Flash at super speed run into someone, and then he's flying in the air, and then Victor like catch him in like a ray and throw like a batarang around his neck and drag him to the ground. Like I want to see them working together and using their skills. So you're like, fuck. Yeah.
You want to see Aquaman make like a tidal wave, then Flash turn it into a water spout and water gun people.
Yes. I've been waiting for a Justice League movie like my entire life. I just really want to have like a total nerd.
You want to see Green Lantern show up?
No. I'm fine with no. Because confirm no Green Lantern. I'm fine with no Green Lantern. I want to see.
I heard Black Suit Superman.
To be more, that's a rumor. To be more specific, and I'd be okay with that. No, I want to.
Only if they give him a mullet.
Yeah, of course.
He needs a mullet.
No, I want to see all of their powers used pretty well. I want to see all of them. All the newcomers, not developed like expositionally really well, but I want to see them developed. But I like them just coming into the fold. And I really, really am hoping to see a well done introduction to Apocalypse and Steppenwolf and that entire idea.
Okay. I want to see out of this movie obviously, like I said before, kind of a lighter tone, which, judging by the trailer, we got a bit more of that. I want to see, like, just like you said, I want to see them working together, which is one thing I feel like Suicide Squad, which we talked about, kind of lacked, was that their powers should complement each other, as opposed to just, being a bunch of different people.
To be fair, they're being recruited by Bruce Wayne, not by...
Right.
Some Viola.
What I want to see... Viola Davis. What I want to see...
I know who it is.
out of Justice League is Steppenwolf to be a real character instead of just a piece that they're putting before we get to Darkseid.
Which is difficult because Steppenwolf is very often written as just a step to Darkseid. So, and this is the thing, is that I'm going to trust Chris Terrio and Jeff Johns that they can pull it off. And to be honest, if there's anyone in the world that I want to write a good person, it would be fucking Jeff Johns, and Chris Terrio is a good assistant.
Yeah.
Like,
Look, I'm not getting my hopes up as far as having a good villain in this movie. I think Steppenwolf is just going to be another CGI monster that gets killed in Act 3. And if that's the case,
but he's predominantly not CGI. Well, now I know that you're talking about that extra scene we saw, but that was because it was like.
Is it going to be a guy in a costume?
I don't know, but we don't know. But it was
Okay.
it was that Kryptonian technology that makes.
Well, in any case, either way, I know that it's predominantly, or it's most likely going to be that. I'm hoping that they have the good sense to make him a compelling enough character that he runs back to Darkseid, and maybe Darkseid's like, I don't know, like he's with him on when Darkseid invades Earth.
So to be honest, I actually am fine if Steppenwolf doesn't make it out of this one. And here's the thing: I don't want the Justice League to kill him. I'm fine with him dying in some sort of like the Death Star blew up and he was on there or something.
Or what if the end of the movie, like our post-credit scene, whatever, is him going, him going back to Apocalypse and kneeling before Darkseid and telling him like that, there's these champions of this planet or whatever, and Darkseid just Omega beams him and then turns and looks at the camera, and that's like the end.
Actually, I hope that's the end. Because that would be totally in character with Darkseid and totally in a oh shit.
Yeah.
I am fine.
Kind of like how Thanos looked at the screen at the end of Avengers.
No, hold on a second.
God damn it!
No, but hold on. But see, you do keep doing the comparing game. Here's the thing.
No, I'm not really doing that.
But we have
just in my mind, it was the exact same shot.
Well, I was gonna say one more thing that I hope that this movie doesn't keep Darkseid in the dark. For redundancy intended. No, I want it to be kind of like how in Empire Strikes Back, Vader talking to the Emperor. The Emperor was still mysterious, but you had an idea. And in number 4, the Emperor was just no one. In number 5,
at all.
Yeah, number 5, you have exactly. In number 5, you have this idea of like, oh no, the Emperor is like an evil, like malignant force, but he's stealing.
In the original Star Wars, you're convinced that maybe Darth Vader is like.
But
he's not in charge.
And you hear about this Emperor, but you don't ever see him or anything.
Yeah.
I want this to not be that. I want us to see. I want to see Darkseid in this movie, but just like maybe on a hologram or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, Justice League. And what do you not want to see?
I don't want. Well, basically what we said. The opposite of that, for him to be like, I'm Steppenwolf and I'm going to kill humans because that's my job. You know what I mean? And then at the end, they're like, well, we're going to beat you with this kind of laser that we devised.
Right.
So now we beat you.
Right.
And now we are the Justice League. And then Superman flies in and is like, hey, guys, what's up? And they're like, Soups!
Yeah, I don't want to see Superman just show up for no reason.
I don't want to see Superman in this movie at all, to be honest.
No, he's confirmed.
I know, but I don't want it to be... I want it to be like how Mark Hamill was confirmed for Star Wars. Last shot, no lines.
See, I don't want that. I want Superman to come back. I want them to figure out a way using Atlantean and Themysciran magic to bring Superman back or whatever.
They don't have to. The pebbles shook on the casket.
So that he's not truly dead, but they need to awaken him or something. I don't know. I don't want him to be dead the whole movie. I want him to be in it. I really do. Because he'll be gone for 2 more movies.
I don't know. It's just in my opinion, to do that and then to bring him right back in
2 movies later. A year and 2 movies later.
The first big movie.
No, a year and 2 movies later.
I don't know. It just seems like a waste of the death of Superman storyline.
No, it's not. It's a year and 2 movies later.
I don't know. As opposed to
the whole Suicide Squad was allowed to form because Superman's gone.
I get it.
All right. The other thing is because you're looking at them as like, well, Justice League is the sequel to Batman and Superman. No, Justice League is the sequel to Wonder Woman.
Well, not.
Yes.
Well, actually,
yes.
Shit if I know.
Yes, Justice League comes after Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but Wonder Woman doesn't take place.
Yes, it does. It's going to be part. It's going to be a lot of it is in the past and a lot of it's in the present, apparently. So.
Oh, okay. Is Samuel Jackson in that one too? I'm sorry, I can't help myself because I keep seeing these parallels. Yeah. And obviously it's because, if nothing else, and no matter what anyone wants to say, they're going to be like, look, we know that there's a working formula. We're gonna tweak that
No,
formula.
but that's not why they're doing it. That's not why they're doing it.
I'm not saying that they're trying to copy it, but
No,
I'm
but
saying is every movie copies every other movie in little ways.
I know, but you're such a I thought you were cooler and better than just a cliche, not smart fan.
What? Are you kidding me?
No,
Dude, watch the trailer for Wonder Woman. It looks a lot like the first Avenger.
except better.
Well, to you because you're a DC fan.
Because they're not CGIing Gal Gadot's face on some random ass scrawny body.
Yeah,
and
that
making
was
up
dumb.
their own body.
But you know what? They had to do that.
They don't have stupid nonsensical lines. They also don't have a throwaway red. As far as we know, they don't have a throwaway Red Skull villain.
They got a Red Skull.
That would be the best villain, and they had a Hugo Weaving.
Yeah,
and they ruined it.
He could come back and form the Cabal.
I love Captain America, and. Boo,
you know what? We didn't see the body though. We just saw him got sucked into the Tesseract.
No,
so,
boo,
what if it turns out that like
he went to Asgard?
No, that he is in like the Tesseract. That he's the Tesseract.
That'd be stupid.
And he comes out, and then him and frickin' Matthew McConaughey's character from Interstellar hang out because he's after the Tesseract.
Okay,
too.
enough. You're wasting time. All right. So the things I don't want to see in Justice League, really quick. I do not want to see, like I mentioned, Superman be rushed back in. I do not want to see Victor Stone, his like the animations of Victor Stone be crappy. I want them to look good. Because that was my one, as I mentioned in the show, my one thing I was hesitant was that in the trailer, and it was an early trailer, well, not even a trailer, but the early footage, he didn't look in that shot fantastic, and I want him to look cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing that I don't want to see, like, the Justice League, like I mentioned, like, them, most of the movie, them recruiting, and then the last 10, I don't want them to pull in Avengers, where the last 10 minutes is the final fight. Like, yeah. I want it to be a solid hour and 45 of them pulling together, hour and 15. Solid 3-hour movie. Hour 15.
You're never going to get that. You'll get that in the Ultimate Edition.
Even 45 minutes of them being Justice League. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright, so last but not least, let's finish off. Let's talk about, and we know, and you guys are probably going to be like, there's so much more, but we're going to finish with Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok, which is one, at first when I heard Thor 3, I was like, look, Thor 1 was pretty good. Thor 2 was pretty bad.
Baloney.
Both of them, are very different movies. The first one had a genuine, awesome villain. The second one, I forgot who it was for a long time. Malekith the Accursed. But I only know that because I looked it up.
And listen, I like Thor a lot. And I appreciate Thor's ability, and I really enjoy the storytelling of Thor going from Asgard to Earth.
Yeah.
And I like that. And actually, Thor did an excellent job of that balance in an origin story of Earth time and Asgard time. So,
yeah.
Props there. Thor 1, actually, I thought was of the origins.
As opposed to most origin stories where they start off no powers or whatever, and then they get their powers, they flipped it on its head. So we saw him as Thor at the very beginning of the movie,
right.
And then and he has to get his powers back.
I would, of all the Marvel origins thus far, I would give Thor the strongest outing. So the things I want to see, the things I want to see in Thor Ragnarok, obviously more Thor and Loki banter, because that was the best part of Thor 2. That was a great part of Avengers, and a fantastic part of Thor. More Thor and Loki banter, and screenshots suggest that we're going to see them on Earth searching for Odin, and because something's going to happen to Odin, Odin's on Earth or whatever. I'm excited to see more of Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth just being them, working together, because they're both fantastic. I am so fucking pumped and hope to see a good rendition of Hulk Gladiator style fighting Thor.
Planet Hulk.
But not even that. I just want to see a legitimate, because we got a little taste of Hulk v Thor, but I want to see a legitimate Hulk v Thor fight.
Yeah.
Like, straight out of the comics, straight out of the animateds, like Hulk and Thor throwing down, Hulk almost killing Thor, Thor summoning the lightning, gaining his strength, and then just throwing down hard.
Yeah.
To see both how strong Thor is, and also how fucking strong Hulk is. Because at this point, yes, we think Hulk is strong, but we haven't gotten a good idea in the MCU how basically
what are the upper limits of the
that
his
Hulk
powers?
is basically immortal. As his limit is how angry he can get.
I mean, even as Bruce Banner, he was shot himself in the head, and
Well,
as
he turned into.
he said the green guy spit the bullet out.
Yeah.
So like
that could have been a hyperbole. But...
Now here's the thing about it that I definitely want to see when it comes to the Gladiator arena, straight up Planet
if
Hulk
they
style.
do a Gladiator arena.
Well, I mean, we see a Hulk in Gladiator armor.
But
what else could that possibly be?
It could be the villain incorporating him into part of his Asgardian or whatever army.
Now,
the vibe I got.
What I want to see is, of course, they get hit in the arena against one another. Hulk's got the collar on or whatever that's just...
So you'd like to see an arena, period?
Yes. That's frying his brain, making him just straight up rage monster, kind of like what Scarlet Witch did to him in Age of Ultron.
Which would be a kind of a rehash.
But I mean, that's actually something very common in Hulk stories.
Loki
they just push him to be super, super angry. So they have the collar on him, and he's like you said, on the verge of beating Thor to death, but then he calls down the lightning, it fries out the circuits, he comes to his senses, helps Thor up, and then they just wreck house. Team up, like Thor or Hulk throwing Thor at the enemies, you know what I mean? I want to see more interactions of Lady Sif and the Warriors 3.
Yeah.
Which we saw some of that in the trailer, in the little leaked trailer.
Comic-Con footage.
I don't know. It's just I want it to be off-world. Yeah. I don't want it to be on Earth. We've seen enough Earth. Go show us the different realms. Show us Jotunheim and show us Anaheim and show us all the other Svartalheim.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
Hell. I would like.
Yeah, take it to actual hell. Like
that's
they have a hell.
That's what I was gonna see. Is I wasn't gonna say. I mean, I would like to see more of the Asgardian lore, and I want to see Death. Who, by the way, would connect to Thanos because obviously he tried to.
And Deadpool.
No.
Even though those aren't connected universes.
No, boo Deadpool. Boo. Deadpool.
Well, no, but those are actual like. Deadpool's connection to death is a very important part of Deadpool's story.
I know, but keep Deadpool out of it. I'm talking about the Thanos death.
Yeah.
I also want to see. I would really like to see, like, Hulk be incorporated in this entire prophecy of the Ragnarok. That it makes it look more like a prophecy. That Thor was like Odin's son and the chosen one, so to speak, almost kind of like this biblical idea, like imagery. But that Hulk, who ultimately would be a component of the Avengers and someone that Thor would be close to, was a part of it from all along, and it's going to become this great. I want Hulk to be the Ragnarok. Yeah. I want the central conflict here to be Hulk v Thor. Dawn of Justice. That's what I want to have happen. I don't want there to be like an external big threat. I want it to be like whoever the big threat is, hopefully Loki again, like manipulating Hulk.
Yeah. Now, at the end of this, I don't want them to get back to Earth. I don't want that to happen for this reason. I don't want to see them again until the end of Infinity War.
Oh, I want to see them again.
No. What I'm saying is Infinity War is being split into two different films. There's Avengers 3.
I thought that was changed.
And then there's...
I thought that's been changed too now.
It's not Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. But it is Avengers 3 Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War, and then a second movie that's going to complete that phase. So what I'm saying is I want to see them return at the end of Avengers Infinity War and be kind of the, for lack of a better term, the Deus Ex Machina. The ones that come to the aid.
I was guessing...
The cavalry.
So, I was guessing that it was going to be probably, like, Avengers Infinity War, and then, like, the next one be, like, another step in that Infinity storyline.
Yeah, I don't think they even bothered... I can't confirm this, obviously. I don't think they really even changed the script or anything. They just didn't want to brand it as Part 1 and Part 2 because that failed with...
Harry Potter.
It failed with Harry... Well, with Harry Potter, it stumbled. With Hunger Games, it straight up failed.
Yeah.
And it also failed with the other young adult movie. People were like, we don't like that. We're going to pay one ticket price for one full movie.
Yeah, we want to see.
Don't split it up. And a lot of people have had a lot of problems with the Hobbit movies because you split one book into 3 films.
And they made the last two. Well, the last two were 2, weren't they?
No.
The last two Hobbits.
No. It's a trilogy made off of one rather short book.
Gotcha.
So people are like, "You're just pumping us for money.
Yeah.
Give us one movie." So
One good movie.
I think it's just them renaming it. So instead of Part 1 and Part 2, it's Avengers: Infinity War.
But I would say
and
I could imagine them, Kevin Feige, like playing with with the story to make it fit better.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Feige. As much as we talk about me hating Marvel and bullshit like that, I honestly like the Marvel movies as a whole, and I trust Kevin Feige to do
He's a great continuity guy.
He's
You
concerned
gotta
about
give him that.
And honestly, before he was having a big say in these movies as EP, they were shitty.
Yeah.
The early Marvels were not good, and he comes into the fray, and they've been all right. Some have not been great, but they've been all right. The last thing that I must add before we're done, that I don't want from Thor Ragnarok, I just don't want it to not set up the next movie. Because I felt like Civil War ended, and I was like,
several of them haven't.
I just felt like it was like, why should I care about Infinity War or Doctor Strange? Like, I should care about Spider-Man Homecoming. That's cool.
Yeah.
But why should I
And
care
you should definitely care about Black Panther. You know what I mean? Because Winter Soldier's on ice in Wakanda.
What the hell's a Black Panther? I'm kidding. See, but I felt like I didn't feel like.
But yeah, you're right. It didn't set up Thor Ragnarok. It didn't set up Doctor Strange or anything like that.
Right.
And you're right. The first few, it was like whatever's coming out is going to set up the next one.
We were
just as a hint.
Avengers 1, Phase 1, set us up for Infinity War, and we were like, holy shit, Thanos. And the thing is that if Infinity War isn't good for whatever reason, oh my god, that's going to be the biggest fuck you ever. Because
if Thanos turns out to just be a boring
shitty villain, because we've been teased about him, and everyone was like, who the hell even was that? Oh my god, What is that?
Now, here's the thing about Thanos. If they do him the justice he deserves, he's a really compelling villain.
I know, but I don't trust Marvel with villains anymore.
Yeah. And
that's the one part with Kevin. Kevin, if you're listening, you're not. But if you are, do better villains.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't write the movies. He just writes the continuity.
But he's the EP. He's the king writer.
Yeah.
All right, so I think it's about that time that we finish up the night. That's all we have to say. If you also want to ask us or talk about other Marvel and DC upcoming films, or if you just think
we're wrong, or what you want to see out of them,
let us know on social media, or if you can talk to us in person, or email, or whatever. Do all that. Tweeting is social media.
Tweet.
Do all that sorts of things.
Be little Tweety birds.
So let's quickly finish the night with the way we always finish, with our
Clash of the Titans.
And when I listen to this, I'm about to swerve off the road and crash.
I might have to do a noise reduction.
I'm going to crash to the right.
I might have to edit that.
Yes. So last week we pitted Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, and the Mad Hatter versus Willy Wonka and his chocolate factory, versus who was he with?
He was with Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow, that's right.
In our very first Johnny Depp tag team battle. Very first tag team battle.
An in-depth. No, we've had group battles.
We've had group battles.
We had an in-depth battle, and so.
But yes, an all-depth.
As we agreed upon, and as the poll showed, Jack Sparrow and Willy Wonka lost and failed.
Yes. Sweeney Todd and Mad Hatter just straight up
sociopathy
and psychopathy become a greater force than bumbling and creepy.
Yeah. They murdered them. Yeah. And then they ate them in meat pies. So this week, we have a little bit of a different vibe going on. Benji, let's hear it.
All right, so now this one is surely something different.
Yeah.
We've had group battles before.
Yes. We've had 3v3s. We've had team v teams.
Team v teams. We just had a tag team match. We've never had a fatal four-way.
You mean 1v1v1v1?
Yes, a multiple choice answer.
Batman v Superman v Batman v Superman?
I was going to say Batman v Superman v Iron Man v Captain America.
Dawn of Justice Civil War?
Dawn of America.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of Dawn of America.
So let's hear Who's in corner one?
In corner one, all right, now for this battle, we have 4 very famous vampire hunters.
Those who know the vampiric killing arts.
Those who hate all hemophages.
All right, corner one.
Corner one, we have Abraham Lincoln, old Honest Abe, the vampire hunter.
Our 16th president, he never tells a lie, and he never cuts anywhere below the neck.
He uses a mighty hatchet.
And a big hat to hide his head.
Yeah, he's got great skills he's been taught since he was very young.
And he fucked a fat woman and might have gotten syphilis from a prostitute. That's historically accurate. Look it up.
And he also had a really high-pitched voice that was apparently akin to a teapot.
And he grew his beard because of a little girl.
Yeah, he did grow his beard because of a little girl.
All right, in corner two.
But in the movie context, he's just a badass with a battle axe.
Who
basically.
Who was trained to be a vampire slayer,
Yes.
betrayed, and then ultimately redeemed himself.
You know what? That was a pretty good movie.
It was not bad at all.
Yeah.
All right, corner two.
Corner two, we have the Marvel vampire hunter himself. I'm talking Blade.
One
and
half
for
vampire, one half black man, three halves, cool ass bro.
And for these purposes, I'm saying Wesley Snipes Blade, obviously.
Yeah, out of prison. He's not avoiding taxes. He's avoiding...
He's avoiding fangs.
He's avoiding blood taxes from vampires.
Not taxes, but fangs.
And axes. So, Wesley Snipes with his katana and
let's hope he
guns,
can avoid
ready
the
to go.
axes.
All right, corner number 3.
In corner number 3, we have the sweetheart of the vampire killing universe. The one that's got it in the goddamn name, Buffy the motherfucking Vampire Slayer.
With all of her vampire slaying tools and teenage drama, Buffy's here. She's
got like magic and shit too.
Buffy's here. She has no fear, and she's ready to stay.
Yeah. And finally, we have probably the most iconic vampire hunter of all time.
In some circles.
And I think for these intents purposes, we're going to go with the Hugh Jackman
of course,
movie
the
version.
cinematic version.
Which is Van Helsing.
The Dracula Slayer, who also combats wolves and
he's a bit of a witcher.
He fights lots of different mythical creatures. He uses a crossbow, but he also has his holy water.
He's got that sick automatic crossbow.
He has all sorts of tools to fight and some revolvers and whatever he's going to do.
So,
out the box on this one, I'm going to have to give it to Blade.
Yeah.
Blade out the box. Because Blade is the one, out of all these guys, Blade is the one who's part vampire, so he has some of the superhuman powers.
Yeah, but Buffy has some magic.
That's true.
And Van Helsing is a goddamn werewolf.
That's true.
At the end of the movie,
he does become a werewolf.
Into a werewolf. Here's what I think. Abraham Lincoln is going to be the first to go.
Oh, I would think Buffy. I think Buffy, no offense to the women out there, I think Buffy would get killed quickly because...
She survived a lot of stuff in that show.
Yeah, but she was not facing the kind of threats that the other three were.
She knows, mid-90s karate.
Yeah, but she also wears tight pants and some thongs that are showing. Maybe she'll distract the other three, but she'll probably... It's Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Here's what I think is going to happen out of the gate. I think that the two that don't have ranged weapons are going to be taken out by ranged weapons.
Buffy and
Abraham Lincoln
Dunzo
are going to be... I think Abraham Lincoln might have a revolver, but even then, he's going to get riddled with automatic crossbow bolts.
So... Drop down to, and we agree on that, so drop down to Van Helsing v. Blade. I think Blade, because I think Blade's smarter, I think he's quicker, he has some of that vampiric blood, so he has some superpowers, and also his katana skills are well above par.
Alright, here's where I'm going to fight you on this one. Because Van Helsing went full wolf form and took on Dracula when he was full monster bat form, and Dracula's like the king of all vampires.
That's true.
So I think that he will have enough power and ability if he goes full wolf to take down Blade.
All right.
I think Blade is going to... Actually, I think they're going to wound each other to the point that maybe Van Helsing's not going to make it out of the room alive, but he's definitely going to be the last one breathing.
So, you heard it here. He picks Van Helsing, I pick Blade, Buffy and Abe. Sorry, but
yeah, it should have been less human.
So I think that about does it on another exciting edition of The Strong and the Geek.
Yeah, we had a great time. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment on YouTube, on iTunes, on SoundCloud. Check us out on Facebook and on Twitter, which we update with semi-regularity.
Like, subscribe, follow, all those things he just said. And I'm gonna
make
say,
sure you vote on this poll because this is our first
Four-way.
fatal four-way. 3 dudes and 1 woman. The way that God intended.
Look forward to next week when we have another exciting topic. And join us in a couple weeks when we will be giving our report on not San Diego.
Yeah, well, we're going back in time. We're hitting a warp portal.
Baltimore Comic-Con.
Yeah, we're going to Baltimore Comic-Con. We're going to be discussing all the awesome things we see there.
Hopefully
we get a chance to talk to some really cool comic book writers and
artists,
some celebrities. I'm excited to see Iris West.
I hopefully will get to interact with Neil Adams again because last year at Baltimore I did get to have a chance to talk to them and that was very cool.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. You all have a great weekend and a great night, and join us again on The Strong
and the Geek.
Chugga chugga dum. Actually, never gonna give you up, never gonna let
Just
you
calling us at
down,
the end.
never gonna new theme song, please don't sue us. My name is Josh, his name is Ben. Sue us. Mid-credit scene, sue us.
God damn it.
Alright, done so.